Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Process and Automation podcast with the Automation Guys. Do you like to learn more about the 14 RPA providers that matter most and how they stack up? In today's episode, we will go through the 14 most significant ones from the recent Forrester Wave Robotic Process Automation Q1 2021 report. And we will go through how each RPA vendor measures up, and hopefully this will help you to select the right vendor for your needs. So, Arno, the latest Forrester Wave robotic process automation. This is, exciting news.
Very good. And we are also awaiting the Gartner report, which I believe will also be out a bit later this year. Forrester has obviously released the wave for Q1 2021, which is good. It's quite exciting. Quite a few surprises in there. So what they've done is they've looked at the 14 providers that matters the most in their opinion, and basically how they stack up and how they compete. So for those of the listeners who are new to the Forrester Wave, it is basically a way to categorize robotic process automation vendors, based on their position in the market in terms of leadership. And the categories are typically leaders at the front, then strong performers, contenders, and challengers. And they do that as a function of the market presence. So they've done that now for the 14 mainstream providers.
And I guess it's a bit like the Oscars, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit like the Oscars for RPA, I suppose. It is interesting reading, especially for people that needs to make decisions, that want to procure robotic process automation software. This is a good go-to report, which is as objective as it can be for the analyst, to make sure you as an enterprise architect select the right one for your business. What the report does, it does sort of lay out various criteria, strengths, weaknesses, market position. So I thought, Sasha, today is a good idea just to run through these with our listeners.
So who are sort of the contenders in this year's in this quarter's Forrester Wave?
So no surprises here. Automation Anywhere, of course, quite a strong RPA vendor. Totally rewritten their product a few years ago. Blue Prism is there, quite a go-to provider, very stable.
Enterprise focused a lot.
Very enterprise focused. Quite old hands in that sort of area. We've got Cyclone Robotics as well, probably a bit less known to our listeners. Datamatics is out there as well. I have heard quite a lot in the market recently on news about Datamatics. Then we've got Edgeverve, Highland, the likes of Kofax is still lingering around. And then, of course, I think the big one is Microsoft. Microsoft has now joined this club as well.
Yeah, I think after the acquisition of Softomotive, isn't it?
That's right, yes. So they've sort of excelled themselves to the front of the class. Kryon is still in the wave as well. Then we've got NICE, Pegasystems, the likes of SAP, WorkFusion, and then, of course, UiPath.
Yeah, I think there's generally a lot of activity in the market, and it feels like some of the businesses, some of the companies from previous Forrester Waves, that they come closer towards the leaders, isn't it? So that lots of businesses are catching up with the leaders in the market.
Yes, that's right. I think that there are some of those that are probably not as progressive. It doesn't mean they are bad providers, but we do tend to find that there is a sort of a cluster building in some of the top performers in the leaders section.
Who is the number one? Who is sort of, not necessarily number one, but who's in the leaders currently, and who has been there for a while?
Yes, if we look at the wave, no surprises there. UiPath is in the front, so they in the lead. Very strong offering currently, quite a big market presence, the biggest one out there. So I believe that with UiPath, there's been quite a lot of investment inside the business. Their innovation spent is pretty good. We are seeing new things that are coming out, especially things that is more aligned towards AI capabilities. So they call it the RPA adjacent automation technologies. And these are kind of peripheral things that builds on top of RPA that actually makes the offering a lot better. So UiPath, obviously very, very strong contender. I would suspect that they would probably maintain that leader position for 2021, possibly beyond as well, into 2022 as well.
Yeah, and then as you mentioned, Microsoft has caught up quite a lot, isn't it? So it wasn't even in the Forrester wave before, because before it was just their own offering, and now after the acquisition of Softomotive, that happened I think last year, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that helped them to really be in the wave and be a big player now in the field.
Yeah, of course, with the acquisition, I think it happened in May 2020. That accelerated their execution of being in this automation space. So that strategy worked. Of course, with Microsoft, they are called the so-called mega vendors. They've got a lot of a rich set of training and learning resources, a big community behind them, very broad global partner ecosystem. And of course, all of this helps customers succeed at every stage. And like we've spoken in our Clubhouse sessions, Microsoft is a player that always looks to make RPA available to the masses, right? Very low barrier of entry. You can start immediately, almost at no cost. You can deploy within 5 minutes, and it's really, really easy to get started. Some of the features within the platform is quite rudimental, but at the same time it gets people hands-on experience. They can get started quite quickly. Then of course Microsoft also made significant investments in AS400 connectors, Citrix support, broader support for additional browsers. The designer experience is better. So a lot of this, coupled with the fact that there's quite significant Office 365 users out there, really puts them in a strong position, with inside the Forrester wave.
All right, yeah. So the next big one, which has been there for a long time, is Automation Anywhere. So they, as you mentioned, they have completely rebuilt their product to turn it really into and to compete with the cloud offerings from others. So it's a fully cloud native web-based application now. Was similar like Microsoft. So they're stepping up on the AI a lot. So it's lots of AI power in that platform. And it's also supporting the discovery of process automation, and so that's Automation Anywhere. So
very strong player still. very strong partner base, multinational spread of partners. Over 90 countries that you can find Automation Anywhere partners, well established. I think they do focus a lot on progressive AI infused technologies. A very comprehensive platform, like you mentioned earlier. They have built the product or rebuilt it from scratch to turn it into a cloud native web-based AI infused platform. And this makes a really, really strong offering, especially for cloud-based RPA vendors. Very strong. So definitely a big player in the market.
Yeah, I think what really stands out at Automation Anywhere is the IQ bot. As we all have plenty of documents in businesses, so the IQ bot is a well-received component there, which does the document extraction. So covers all the document extraction use cases. With all the machine learning and data processing power, and that when that came in, that really was really well received as a feature, and others on the wave didn't have that capability at that point, so they're still pushing forward with that a lot.
Yes. So the next one we can look at is NICE. That's the fourth one on our list. I would say, between them and Automation Anywhere, probably a very similar market presence. NICE probably a tiny bit in the lead in terms of, their position in the market. But in terms of their current offering, not as strong as Automation Anywhere, but still focus for NICE is AI infused automation. They've got quite a big portfolio of customers, around 700 or so across the world. NICE is traditionally a platform that's dedicated to contact center automation, but it's of course not limited to this. They've included a lot of AI-based features inside their product now, like real-time speech analytics, inventory checks, next best offer recommendations for contact centers agents. So at a whole, I think from a customer experience perspective, probably a bit aligned to the contact center, but I do see application beyond that, using their platform. So again, very strong. I would say their focus is really on sort of text to voice analytics and processing, and rightly so in the leadership sort of area of the Forrester wave.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So 2 more to go in our leaders section. So Kryon. So Kryon is very strong when it comes to business process discovery. So Kryon is really focusing on process discovery, leveraging AI again. So that seems to be the big theme for most of the vendors anyway. Yeah. So for mining and generating visualization, so that helps business people to identify sort of the best automation for the business. And Kryon is a great fit for companies that look really out for to tackle RPA from a business process automation angle, combined with that focus on mainly really business people and citizen developers we have as a theme as well, with lots of the low code applications out there.
Yeah, I think with Kryon, the sort of vision is really to lead with business process discovery, and they're all about sort of accelerating this time to production from months to a few days, and the enabler for this is really increased sort of bot resilience and automation analytics, and they focus on full cycle automation. So in this spans sort of task management, process mining. They're looking at process discovery and continuous automation improvement. So I think that they tackle the actual process side a lot. They use AI for mining and for visualization generations. And they present all of those visualizations, to business people to identify, what's the best fit for automations. And again, it's multidisciplinary, because if you have those sort of metrics around processes, it could be used for training. It could be used for, the best path for a user to complete a process. So very strong as well. They've got good integration with Abby, Microsoft Cognitive Services, other text analytics as well for processing. So in all, they're very strong, very focused on the business people, citizens, developers, like you mentioned, Sasha. I would say the last one in our leader section, but certainly also a strong player.
Yeah. So Work Fusion is the next one, isn't it? We have is very, very strong in the banking and insurance industry.
Yeah.
So they target really see all scenarios and use cases in retail banking and any kind of insurance you work any kind of insurance, and it's very can deal with very complex and data-driven use cases. So this is why it's very, very embedded within banks and insurances. It's very strong as well in the EMEA region and in APAC. And recently started to look more outside of banking and insurance, also covering healthcare.
I think with Work Fusion, like you said, I think their background is financial sector, specifically banks, and very, very strong contender there, specifically for more data-driven use cases for RPA. They integrate with other sort of platforms, very deep integration, object level integration with the likes of Bloomberg systems, LexisNexis, Oracle's, of course, SAP, Reuters. So they've got a lot of prepackaged bots that's also available for reuse, which is really appealing as well, especially in the banking and finance industry. Tons of connectors to all of these platforms. Of course, a lot of reference data. So you don't have to start from scratch. They would have all of these things fully loaded, ready to be deployed, or ready to be adopted and changed and deployed. So very good. I would say that you mentioned strong in healthcare, but also kind of branching out now into the likes of healthcare as well. And again, I think the strong point here is the prepackaged components is a sort of a differentiator for them.
Yeah, and bank grade security features, and especially when it comes to sensitive and regulated data, I think this is why they are as well the sort of the key player there in these industries.
Yes, that's right. So with Edgeverve, it is a quite a attractive RPA vendor for firms that seeks the RPA platform and also the consulting into one place. Their product Assist Edge is an end-to-end automation platform. That of course, with inside that is your discovery automation and your orchestration capabilities. They tend to focus on large organizations, so your sort of global 2,000 companies, but a lot of mid-sized businesses are also now starting to get involved with them. Very good partner network as well with them. I think one attractive feature of them is they have got specific use cases. Again, in contact center automation, legal contract management testing. So, very, very experienced, large client base, comes with, lots of useful tools to be able to scale your RPA, do convenient version updates, data migration. I think with Edgeverve, we don't really see a lot of AI capabilities in there yet. It's possibly one of the reasons why they sort of just in the space they are, with inside the strong performers. But I think with them, again, with the use cases, the experience, that probably brings them, closer to that leadership area of the wave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bit of a surprise is the next one, the next movement here in the wave. Blue Prism is not a leader anymore in this Forrester wave, dropped down to strong performer. But nevertheless, yeah, Blue Prism offers really a stable and very, very strong compliant and secure RPA platform. So it's very, very popular with large enterprises. Blue Prism has been in industry for years, more than 15 years already, and I think over the last couple of years, they concentrated a lot on building this connected RPA offering, and some of the other RPA vendors, like UiPath, they are a bit stronger now in some other core capabilities, but Blue Prism has a big R&D investment, so they doubled that R&D investment in 2020 by. They doubled it, yeah. So that's so that there's lots of stuff to come out in the next couple of years to see how they envisage RPA. So they moved more into the intelligent automation space anyways, not just pure RPA, especially with the connected RPA offering. So they started to build up this digital exchange over the years, and so that is quite attractive. So they have now over 1,800 pre-built automations in this digital exchange available for business to use. So this very low code approach makes them still very attractive, but it feels, to be honest, a bit older than some of the strong performance we see, and really looking forward what they are doing within the R&D space. But otherwise, they cover everything what you would expect: OCR capabilities, machine learning, and very strong vendor still. But they have to catch up with the big innovation in the strong performance area.
Yeah, I think the good thing there is, like you touched on it, they are investing heavily in R&D. I think the attractive thing about Blue Prism is the stability. The platform has been around for a decade and a half. It's extremely secure. You look at every sort of compliance standard under the sun.
Yes.
PCI, HIPAA, SOX. It's already in there. So if data security is something of a concern, especially in financial institutes, government institutes, this is a very, very good way to secure that data, and for both unattended and attended automations. Of course, integration with a lot of things, Abby, Fortress IQ, process mining tools. So a bit disappointing that they've been rated in a strong performer. I would personally say they probably still one of the leaders just based on experience. But perhaps 2022, when some of that 2020 R&D comes to the surface, hopefully it will sort of put them back in a strong position again.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, now the big boy SAP. It's also a strong performer. They moved up. now from contender to strong performer. SAP, they do all sorts of ERP stuff. You can imagine for big enterprises. So it was anyway a surprise that they haven't been too strong in this field. But SAP is stable and is moving slow. But good to see them here in the strong performers section was their intelligent RPA product, which really enabled end-to-end RPA processing on the whole of the SAP platform, and really making integrations with SAP and non-SAP solutions possible. And so they so was their offering. It complements really their business and industry applications they have available.
Yeah, I think we would probably look at them as somebody that would be a strong performer anyway. I think that with inside SAP, there's naturally going to be a customer base that they could tap into. Of course, there's a lot of experience in the partner network as well. SAP also comes equipped with pre-built automations. And I guess, a lot of these things would be SAP centric, but a lot of the bigger enterprises that uses SAP for enterprise resource management, it's just an easy add-on. It's convenient. So very good integration as well with other technologies like ABI. So that's of course for intelligent document management. So not a big surprise that they're in this space, and I think they probably with their experience will stay here for quite a long time. So the last performance in the strong performance section, we'll cluster these together because from my opinion, we've covered the leaders and obviously the strong performance. So we'll group together Highland, Datamatics, and Cyclone Robotics. So they're in the lower end of the strong performers, and the only remaining one is then Kofax. So Kofax is last on the from a leadership perspective. Still quite a big presence within inside the market. I suspect that Kofax, in terms of innovation, probably have got a lot to catch up on. But that being said, still a strong performer in terms of customer base, the market presence as well.
Kofax, I think one of the big downsides of Kofax, it is not really offered as a SaaS platform yet. So this is where the others are definitely already at, and that's probably something I'll come up with over the next couple of years. But at the current stage, I think they do not deserve any place higher, I guess, than this. And this brings us to the end of the review of the Forrester Wave Robotic Process Automation Q1 2021 with some really interesting changes. We hope this overview helps you a bit in your vendor selection process. In our opinion, when selecting a RPA platform vendor, look out for consistency, stability, a large set of capabilities, security, scalability, and a strong partner network to support you on your automation journey. We are looking forward to your feedback on this episode, and thank you very much for listening. See you soon. Unfortunately, that's it again with this episode of the Process and Automation podcast. If you liked this episode, please give us a 5-star rating, and don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss any upcoming episode. We hope you will tune in next time, and until then, let's automate it.